It's time to take our last walk around Liverpool, our last stroll around the M&S Bank Arena, our last chance to stare at the Strawberry Fields, to wander down Penny Lane and to board a ferry to cross the Mersey, or perhaps a yellow submarine. Yesterday, the end of competition seemed so far away, but it looks as though it's here to stay. And what a World Championships, how much we've packed in. 12 nations have won medals, many in events for the first time. The gymnasts couldn't have given you more, even if they did this, well, for 8 days a week. It's time for the last magical mystery tour. It's time for the last session of apparatus finals at the FIG Artistic Gymnastics World Championships, the Liverpool 2022 World Championships. The men's vault, parallel bars and horizontal bar, and the women's balance beam and floor exercise finals are about to take place. Ollie Hogben here, and it's a great pleasure to have alongside me Blythe Lawrence. Blythe, the last five.
5 more gold medals are for the taking today, and on some of gymnastics' most exciting apparatus. It should be a day of high-flying, high-octane routines. We will be starting off with the explosive men's vault before focusing on the precision of balance beam, the intricacy of parallel bars, and the artistry and entertainment of women's floor exercise. And to cap things off, horizontal bar, where anything can happen. What a fitting way to close out what has been a wonderful World Championships here in Liverpool.
It has indeed, and it has been the greatest of pleasure to have your company wherever in the world you're joining the action from, whoever you're supporting, and however long you've enjoyed the great sport of artistic gymnastics. He's enjoyed it for a very long time, a veteran, a top-class performer at South American and Pan American level. He's not enjoyed it for as long, a youngster coming through, impressing, challenging, trying to convert junior World Championship glory to senior World Championship success. Even that, a long, long time ago for them. Young fans here to enjoy the sport. A great sense of community, of friendship, of solidarity among these gymnastics fans. The fan zone has been vibrant, energetic, and the action on the field of play, well, that hasn't been half bad either. The men's vault final is about to get underway in the M&S Bank Arena on the shores of the River Mersey in this extraordinary city, this energetic city, but most of all this friendly city, this caring city, a city that smiles at you. And it's been maybe fitting in a city of such diversity that we see such diversity of competitors in this men's vault final. The top performer in qualification, Artur Davtyan of Armenia. He will go second to last in the order. He has delightful vaulting, beautiful vaulting. Carlos Yulo of the Philippines was the second strongest in qualification, and less than 1/10 of a mark separated them. But one thing that we have learned during these World Championships is you don't have to be one of the top 3 performers in qualification to get onto the podium. No, no, no. You can be the 8th strongest in qualification and come away with a World Championship silver medal, even though it's the first time your nation's ever made it to a final at the World Championships. You can take a team of debutants with just one seasoned veteran and get them onto a team podium. You can be the host nation and become the only squad that's qualified both its men's and women's teams to the Olympic Games. You can be a veteran who keeps performing at the highest level day in, day out. You can be Artur Davtyan and Igor Radivilov. The options are endless. The competition is about to get underway. Will there be more success for the host nation? A host nation that won the men's floor title yesterday for the very first time, courtesy of Gianni Regini Moran. All of these are questions to which, frankly, Blythe, we don't have any answers. We're just throwing it out there to let you argue amongst yourselves at home about it. Because it's been unpredictable, hasn't it?
It's been unpredictable, and that's been one of the best things about this World Championships, frankly. We've seen so many brilliant surprises, and we may be in for more today.
I know, Blythe, you've been covering the sport of gymnastics for many, many years, and there isn't much you don't know about it, but you have been at these championships more than I've ever seen you frowning and going to your computer going, what has such and such a thing ever happened before? Has so-and-so from such and such a nation ever made a final before? Because even you have had to be scrolling through the archives here because there have been so many unprecedented moments.
There has been for several years an expanding popularity of gymnastics across the globe, and what we are starting to see is gymnasts from nations that weren't necessarily considered gymnastics nations, quote unquote, beginning to push up, bringing athletes to world championships who are first class and contend for not just finals, but medals.
On the subject of contending for medals, let's do just that. It's the men's vault final, and it begins now.
Liverpool, please welcome the gymnasts in the men's vault final. Representing Brazil.
We start with Caio Souza of Brazil, the reigning Pan-American and South American Games vault champion.
Representing Japan, Wataru Tanagawa.
Tanagawa Wataru of Japan, whose incredible vaulting in the all-around competition took him to a bronze medal. But this is his territory. Carlos Yulo, the champion of the world on vault in 2021. Igor Radivilov of Ukraine, an Olympic medalist on vault in London in 2012 and twice a European vault champion over the last few years. Kim Han-sol of the Republic of Korea, bronze medalist in 2017 at the World Championships. Gabriel Bertonete of Romania, the junior world champion on vault at the first Junior World Championships in 2019. The first Armenian ever to win an artistic gymnastics medal at the Olympic Games. The vault bronze medalist from Tokyo, Artur Davtyan. Lee Jun-ho of Korea Republic, the 6th strongest performer in qualification and an Olympian from Tokyo. It is a tremendous field. These are the finalists for the men's vault competition, and the top performer in qualification was Artur Davtyan of Armenia, the bronze medalist from the Olympic Games. Nonetheless, this could be very close. It could be very tight. It's clear that many have the capacity to win this, including him, the reigning world champion. And he was so close to Artur Davtyan in qualification. The average score for Yulo, 14.849, for Davtyan, 14.9. That's how tight it was. Where might the separation come?
Frankly, it might be a case of landings. Landings are something we discuss on vault. Of course, that is not the only thing that the vault is judged on. However, when it comes to minimizing execution deductions as the gymnast hits the mat, Artur Davtyan is the world leader in that.
He absolutely excels, doesn't he, at stuck landings. And what's interesting about him in qualification is that he picked up a 0.1 penalty on both of his vaults, which is quite uncharacteristic for Artur Davtyan. If he eliminates those, then we're looking at a score that goes above 15. Carlos Yulo has got difficulty on Davtyan of 4/10, and we also expect this gentleman to contend as well, because he is capable of some extraordinary difficulty on vault, and maybe might have more difficulty than some of the leading competitors in qualification.
Of course, in the apparatus final on vault, the gymnasts have to do 2 different vaults. And so when we look down the order at the second vault of some of the competitors, some have slightly less difficult second vaults compared to the other men in the final. So there's a lot to keep a track of.
Yes, Kim Han-sol is an example of that, with a lower difficulty second vault based on qualification. Igor Radivilov, a 5.6 for both of his vaults. He has won 2 World Championship silver medals, a bronze medal in 2019 and an Olympic bronze medal in London in 2012. The consistency of Igor Radivilov over the years has been quite extraordinary. As is customary in apparatus finals, the first 4 will go through their warm-ups. They will perform, will then have a break for the next set of gymnasts to do their touch warm-ups on the apparatus. It's been a well-received development in gymnastics to add in that little contact time for all of the athletes. And he's the last gentleman in the first half, Igor Radivilov of Ukraine. 4th strongest in qualification. You can never not talk about Igor Radivilov as a contender in a vault final.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Never count him out.
Well, I suspect in all of our attempts there to do, I say our attempts, your attempts to do some meaningful analysis of this vault competition, we've really only asked more questions and provided no concrete answers, because actually we don't really have them, and that's what one hopes for in a World Championship final.
Well, that concludes the warm-up. We are about to get the world final underway. Let's see you before we give them some encouragement.
Time to start this vault final.
Just about ready for our first contestant today, having the green light is on. He represents
Caio Souza of Brazil, the reigning 2-time Pan American champion on vault, and he also won the South American Games vault title last month. He's been in excellent form on this apparatus lately. Gentleman from Rio de Janeiro, 5th strongest in qualification.
You can never count him out either. Starts off with a Dragolescu.
Not a bad beginning from Caio Souza, quite a pike landing and a big jump forward, but absolutely one cannot count him out.
This is the kind of difficulty that we will see very typically in this final. Handspring double front with a half twist. Yes, he was slightly compressed on the landing, which necessitated the hop forward. He will lose a few tenths of execution deduction for that. He will not have a penalty for going outside of the tram lines. The gymnast doesn't land in the center of the mat. They risk losing 0.1 or 0.3.
And he does stabilize it well, doesn't he, actually? There's a danger when you land like that the hands can go down, but Caio Souza is experienced enough to rectify that with that little hop.
He's certainly got excellent reflexes as he hits the mat. He knows where he is and he knows the adjustment that he needs to make.
We wait for the first score to come in. It was 14.533 in qualification. His second vault was the highest scoring marginally from an execution perspective. 14.333, and much of that really attributable to the landing, the drop of a couple of tenths, but it's a solid beginning from Caio Sousa. And we look now at his second vault, which also had a 5.6 difficulty score in the preliminary round. The first Brazilian man ever to win the all-around title at the Pan American Games, Caio Sousa. We cannot state strongly enough just how dominant he's been on his continent. Lots of power.
Oh, very nice, and very nice in the air as well. Yes, there was a rather large step off to the side on the landing, but vaulting, it is judged on the 3 flight phases. The first flight, what happens before the hands hit the table, the repulsion phase, which is when the gymnast's hands are on the table, and then the second flight, which is everything that happens from here until he lands. And the second flight was very nice, a tight twist. However, he does take a step back that is greater than the width of his shoulders, so he will have a deduction of at least 3/10 of a point. Still, beautiful vault, beautiful vaulting.
He's technically very sound, isn't he, Caio Sousa? Lovely straight line, absolutely in alignment.
This vault comes from a different family than the first vault that we saw. In apparatus finals, gymnasts have to do vaults from 2 different vault groups, and the groups are categorized by how you come on to the vaulting table.
He had his best finish in the all-around competition as well, 10th place, up 3 positions from last time. Quite a wait to secure these first numbers, and that can often be the case in an apparatus final. 14.5 for Caio Sousa, down by 1/10 from the qualification phase. Overall, 14.416, a drop of about 1/10.5. Good performance from him to start the final.
Now, representing Japan, please welcome Wataru Tanagawa.
We're going to see an upgrade from qualification for Tanagawa Wataru, something more like what we saw in the all-around competition. He posted 2 5.6 vaults, but he has indicated here a 6.0 difficulty. So this could make a mockery out of the first vault score from qualification if he gets this right. And this was a key moment for him, wasn't it, in the all-around?
It galvanized him to all-around bronze. Can he do it again?
That time he wasn't quite as secure on the landing, but it is a monstrously hard vault.
It really is. A vault pioneered by the 2016 Olympic champion, Risi Guang, who did it spectacularly for several years. And now there are more and more of the top vaulters that are attempting this vault. Handspring double front half out in the pike position. And once again, the chest is very low on the landing. He's a bit under-rotated as he lands, and so takes that very large step forward. He might lose as much as half a point on the landing.
And having really clear establishment of the pike position is vital, isn't it, in this vault?
It is. The judges want to see all positions, whether it's tuck, pike, or laid out, very cleanly established on the second flight. His legs are slightly bent as well, and there may be an additional deduction for that too.
It's another example of a gymnast doing extraordinarily to stabilize a really low landing.
It's just amazing what they're capable of, isn't it?
It's amazing what he was capable of in the all-around competition, where Tanegawa Wataru emerged as a serious contender when, as you said during the final, we'll just come back to that now. 14.166, he's not got the 6.0 difficulty.
They have credited him for a tucked Dragolescu and not a piked one.
And we did comment, didn't we, on the fact that the pike position was a little lacking in straightness of the legs.
And this is the same thing that happened to him in the men's qualification.
Now to his second vault.
This one also starts out at 5.6. But it was a good vault. A very good vault. However, whether that is going to keep him in medal contention, we will really have to wait and see. And actually, he does a full twist less, I believe, than what he was planning. This is a Kasamatsu style vault with a full twist. Normally, he does it with 2 twists. And he twists so fast and efficiently that you almost have to wait for the slow-mo to see what he's done.
Okay, drop it down, I can't see you.
See your face then.
We wait for the score for Tanegawa Wataru. Twice a gold medalist at the World University Games, 4 times a bronze medalist. Well spotted, Blythe. 4.8 difficulty score. 13.999 the average for Tanegawa Wataru. Yes, a full twist lower than in qualification. Carlos Yulo of the Philippines, second strongest performer in qualification. Another gymnast with a 6 difficulty first vault. Let's have a look at his attempt.
And this is an upgrade from last year.
Oh, hello.
Wow. When Carlos Yulo does the gymnastics that he is capable of doing, this is the result.
It would not be an enormous surprise if that's the highest single score that we've seen so far. Let's look back at it again.
The pike definition is really wonderfully defined, and we remarked in the all-around final that he looks like a diver in the air. And yes, there will be a penalty for stepping outside of the line, and he will take some execution for the large step to the side. But overall, this was a really great vault.
And we look here at the pike position, the toe point, straightness of the legs, really rather straighter than Tanegawa Wataru. And that's going to be important in terms of the difficulty that this vault is attributed.
Yes. It would be astonishing if he did not get the 6.0 difficulty that he was attempting.
This will be male Southeast Asian gymnastic medal at World Championship level when he won bronze on floor exercise in 2018.
The reigning world champion after all. He also won the Asian title earlier this year. And whenever he goes to the Southeast Asian Games, he comes back with a huge collection of medals. He's got the 6.0 difficulty. He's got a 15 score. It is, as we expected, the highest score we've seen so far. And that is a very significant jump up of close to 3/10 from qualification for Carlos Yulo, and really makes him, as long as this second vault goes well, as long as his Kasumatsu double is well executed, makes him arguably the favourite.
Completely different vault.
Now that has changed utterly the dynamic of this men's vault final, and it is, after all, the reigning world champion that we're witnessing, and he might be the defending one. Let's see.
He delivers.
You can hear, I'm sure, the reaction from the crowd. He's such a popular gymnast. It didn't go his way in the all-around competition. They wanted to see this, and they've just seen what we know and love from Carlos Yulo.
He is beloved across the world for the way that he does gymnastics. Beautiful twisting position, the amplitude, the distance of this vault, and also that all-important landing. It's textbook gymnastics, the legs glued together, the push off of the table. Fully rotated in the twist. There's no question as to whether he will get the 5.6 difficulty value. And the height as well. There's so much to remark on. All of it good.
Based in Japan, he's doing a degree in languages at Daikyo University. And he's surely going to go to the top of the leaderboard. Indeed he is. 14.95, a 14.9 for the second vault. And that means we've got ourselves a brand new leader. Kayo Sosa drops down into second position. 15 for that Rise Guang vault for Carlos Yulo. That's some score. But we've got some big contenders, and he's another one. Igor Radivilov of Ukraine, for a decade one of the world's finest vaulters. 3 times a world championship medalist, twice a European champion, and the winner of the London 2012 Olympic bronze medal. The 30-year-old, he has also won over 30 World Cup medals in the regular season events.
Here's his Dragulescu.
And that is a mighty Dragulescu from Igor Radivilov. Superb execution.
Brilliant. He deploys this successfully at almost every competition he goes to. It is one of the most consistent pieces of gymnastics in the world from anybody. And it's fabulous to see him come out and nail it here.
Very centrally on the landing area. 30 years old, from Mariupol, 3 times Olympian. Competed in London, in Rio and Tokyo. And then his work on this apparatus.
Something that is absolutely clear about Igor Radivilov is he is a gentleman with competition temperament.
Oh, yes. He is able to come out in any final, World Cup, World Championships, European Championships, and do that vault like this. If you woke him up at 3 a.m., he could probably come into the gym and do that vault.
He scored 14.7 in qualification.
The suspense for him. We'll come back to that.
14.8 for Igor Radivilov. So he's up a 10th from qualification.
The suspense comes on this second vault. This should be a Sukahara double pike. And when he does it well, it's tremendous. but there have been occasions in the past where it's looked like he has had a vault title or a vault medal in his pocket and things have gone wrong. And it's been on the second vault.
On this occasion, it has gone well, and his reaction is one of immense relief and a lot of emotion too. And what a lovely response from the Liverpool crowd for Igor Radivilov. One dare not even imagine his world of late.
He has had part of his preparation time for this World Championships in Germany, taking advantage of an invitation from a German club that he competes for. And this is obviously the vault that requires a bit more concentration from him. Nicely executed. Once again, the step back and to the side. But other than that, this is just greatness from Igor Radivilov. The sort of vaulting we've grown accustomed to seeing from him.
You mentioned that he is training in Germany and the invitation of a German club. I think it's important to say that the response of the gymnastics family to the difficulties endured by the Ukrainian athletes has been something that's reminded us of the great camaraderie in this sport. Gymnasts from Ukraine competing in France, in Italy, in Germany. They've been looked after by their friends from across the world. And he's looked after his score very well there. Igor Radivilov, 14.733. The average score after a 14.666 second vault. He goes into the silver medal position at the halfway mark of the competition. These are the standings. It is close. But that extra touch of difficulty from Carlos Euler, those magical 4/10ths, have made a huge difference to his standing in this final. And one of the great debates in gymnastics is always the execution difficulty balancing act. And when one looks at Artur Davtyan, one looks at a gentleman who knows which side of the coin he favours. He is somebody who focuses on the precision of his delivery of the skills he's chosen.
He's somebody who has built up his difficulty over a decade. As a junior, he always had tremendous form and execution, but he didn't always have high-level difficulty. Still, he got into finals because that execution was so good. He would score highly on that side of the coin.
And he's done it subtly, hasn't he, building up that difficulty and looking very controlled about it. Gabriel Bertonete of Romania was the third strongest in qualification. He is the youngest athlete in the final, just 20. And he has had a great record at World Cup competition, winning a couple of vault titles this season, including in Mersin in Turkey in the last warm-up event before the World Championships. And that has got to feel rather nice coming into a World Championships, I should say, if you're actually winning competitions, getting used to feeling that your vaulting is going well. Lee Jun-ho will be the last to vault. Both of the gymnasts from the Republic of Korea posted 5.2 difficulty second vaults in qualification. The only two gymnasts in this final whose average was 4/10ths down from the general average of the field. I think it's safe to say that mostly one is dealing with 5.6 difficulty vaults for both gymnasts. A couple have a 6 for the first vault, a couple have a 5.2 for the second. So 5.6 across the board is quite a good base level to think about for this vault final.
And when you are using a 5.2 difficulty vault and you still manage to get into a final of this caliber, it really says something about the execution of your gymnastics.
Yes, it means you're doing that 5.2 vault very well, and he certainly is. Kim Han-sol of the Republic of Korea, 8th strongest in qualification, 26-year-old, competing at his 6th World Championships, and he won the bronze medal in Montreal in 2017. And it's not just his 5.2 difficulty vault that's very good. His 5.61 isn't half bad either. What a lovely start. Now that was crystal clear.
Oh, this was a gorgeous piece of gymnastics. Handspring entry, and then he cranks 2.5 twists into the front layout before seeking this extraordinary landing. It is not very often that we see a stick or close to stick on men's vault. The Republic of Korea, of course, has an incredible tradition of producing fabulous men's vaulters. The Olympic champion in 2012, Yang Hak-son, certainly an example for both of these contenders.
It does happen that way sometimes, doesn't it? Certain nations become really specialized in certain apparatus, and vaulting and the Republic of Korea very much go hand in hand.
And the score comes in
14.9 for his first vault. Significantly, that's up by 0.2 from qualification. Very healthy number there for Kim Han-sol. And now we go to the first 5.2 difficulty vault that we've seen in this final. The lowest difficulty by design, excluding the 4.8 from Tanagawa Wataru, that was not what was indicated. Can he get the crispness of execution that he didn't quite have in qualification? Unfortunately, no. It was the lower executed vault in the preliminary round, and it will be lower by some way this time.
He went for something completely different. This is the Shufelt vault, Yurchenko with 2.5 twist. He doesn't get the greatest block off of the table on the takeoff, and so he gets a lot of distance but not a lot of height, which can affect the twist. And the result, obviously, not what he was looking for.
A vault named after a wonderful gymnast from Canada, the great Kyle Shufelt. Now spends a lot of his time working for Canadian television, analysing other people's vaulting as they go about doing his vault. And he will know the complexity of that vault. He will have had that happen to him many, many times doing his own vault. That extra half twist in the double twisting Yurchenko is so complicated.
It means the gymnast doesn't see the floor before they land, and so there's an anticipation that you don't get with the double twist, where you can actually spot the ground.
13.9 the average for Kim Han-sol, of 12.9 for the second vault, so he finds himself in 5th position. No change to the top 3, Yulo, Radivilov and Souza. An important portion of the final now. We have the 3rd strongest qualifier, followed by the top qualifier, one after t'other. Gabriel Bertanete of Romania, 14.633, his score in qualification across the 2 vaults. That would put him in 3rd place if he matches it.
He should be starting off with a Dragulescu. No!
Well, that's interesting.
It is. He has switched the order of his vaults. Normally he does the Dragulescu first, and this, what we just saw, the Kasamatsu double full second. But of course, there's no penalty for doing that. You do the vaults when you want to do them. This carries a difficulty tariff of 5.6. Very fresh, energetic vaulting. His legs are crossed in the air, and he does take a rather sizable step back. Nonetheless, it's very pleasant to watch, a very pleasant vault.
It is his Senior World Championship debut, the first time he's participated in an apparatus final. Interesting to scrutinise the execution score for this with the points that you were making about the crossing of the legs. 14.666, just over 9 for execution. And now he indicates the Dragulescu vault on the board. Both of them, as I'm sure many of you are aware, carrying the same difficulty. The Dragulescu, the evolution of the Roche vault that adds that half turn that gains 4/10 of difficulty. It's big, isn't it? Very big. Does have a sizable step back on the landing, but he's an exciting young vaulter.
We promised explosivity, and Bertinette delivers that. It's hard to say whether this will contend for a medal, but he has certainly established himself as one of the most exciting young vaulters on the world circuit, and he will continue to improve.
Yes, there's nothing like actually making a World Championship vault final to give you a taste of this sort of occasion. And he is the least experienced of all of them in the field in terms of senior competition. Not quite the control of the landing that we've seen from others, but the potential is so clear. Still leading the way, it is Carlos Yulo. 14.416 is the number to get onto the podium at the moment. He might do more than that. 14.533. And so Gabriel Bertinette, with 2 to go, is in the bronze medal position, and very well done to him for that. Carlos Yulo is still the leader, and the leader by just over 2/10. And it's Igor Radivilov, and then the aforementioned Gabriel Bertinette. However, here comes the top qualifier. He's yet to win a World Championship medal, Artur Davtyan. He's got an Olympic medal, and he's got plenty of European medals. 14.9 in qualification, his average score, but he picked up 0.1 penalties on both of his vaults. If he can avoid those and keep everything else the same, he'll go into the lead. If only life were that simple.
Normally he executes this so well.
Oh, he does execute it beautifully, but where was he in terms of his landing? We're going to have a look at that again, and it looked a touch concerning. The execution was delightful.
It will be very interesting to see what the judges do with this, because as you pointed out, Ollie, he does drift to the side pretty much from the repulsion phase. However, the landing was phenomenal, and in the air it was very good too. Really, the only place you can take away points is for that drift.
Clear penalty tenths to be removed from his score. And it's important to remind that a step out is not as costly as a landing outright in the red.
That is true. So some things gained, some things lost.
All of it makes for a very interesting conclusion. 15. He's actually managed to improve upon his execution from qualification. He's got that single tenth despite having the penalty tenth.
Anyone who gets a 9.5 execution on a vault of that difficulty is clearly a contender for the world title.
And it's his form in the air, isn't it, that is so fantastic.
And he should display that once again here. A twisting vault, very different.
That is excellent from Artur Davtyan. Certainly, it's podium worthy. Is it going to go ahead of Carlos Yulo? We're going to discover soon.
In the women's final yesterday, we talked about grace in vaulting, and this vault clearly falls into that category as well. Handspring front 2.5, so beautiful, so well controlled. Look at his legs, look at his toes. Apart from that small hop on the landing, again, it's just so elegant.
And this time he is completely in bounds. There will not be a penalty tenth. He wins titles in the air as well as on the landing. That's so important to stress. It's going to be very close. He's got it. He's into the lead. 15.05 for Artur Davtyan with 1 to go. Carlos Yulo is in second place, a single tenth the difference. And what we talked about earlier was if Davtyan could eliminate one or both of those penalty tenths, he had a chance of taking it, and he did. He eliminated one penalty tenth, and he's got the lead. That was how close it had the potential to be. Lee Jun-ho of Korea Republic, 6th strongest in qualification. Last to go.
Nicely done on the Kasamatsu double full. Once again, a vault that carries a D score of 5.6. Good repulsion and block. Clean in the air apart from slight crossing of the legs, and a fairly good landing, just that small shuffle back off to the side. It might not get the kind of execution score like we just saw from Artur Davtyan, but it is very promising.
Yes, it's a touch cruel, isn't it, when you see a vault like that after the vaulting of Artur Davtyan, because as you say, this is very nicely executed. This is really secure gymnastics. 14.466, that's a very healthy score from Lee Jun-ho. In contention for something close to a top half finish, depending on what he produces for his slightly lower difficulty second vault.
And we mentioned great vaulters from the Republic of Korea, the reigning Olympic champion Shin Ji-won. He has been inspired by him as well and been able to train with him.
And he also uses that Schuhfeldt vault. And it's another powerful and impressive piece of vaulting. He's given a very positive account of himself in this final, Lee Jun-ho. At the moment, doesn't have the difficulty to contend with much of the field on his second vault, but he's doing a lot right.
Very much so, and compared to the Schuhfeldt that we saw from Kim Han-sol, this one actually has the opposite problem. He's got too much power and ends up taking two rather large steps forward. But once again, so much potential.
It's a very interesting athlete, Lee Jun-ho. He actually started as a martial artist in Aikido, and it was his coach there that suggested a switch to gymnastics. We've had a few of those at these World Championships, athletes who have had a martial arts background as a child. Caio Souza, the first vaulter we had in the final, was another of them, started in karate. 14.316, that is positive from Lee Jun-ho, sixth position for him. He's matched his qualification display, but there is your world champion, Artur Davtyan of Armenia. An excellent performance from him. 15.05, just ahead of Carlos Yulo, who takes the silver medal, only a single tenth separating them. We said at the start it could be a very close final, and it really was. Igor Radivilov of Ukraine is once again on a World Championship podium. He wins bronze. But it's the beauty of the form and the cleanliness of the landings that takes Artur Davtyan to the title. And it's worth taking a moment to acknowledge that Davtyan did that with a 0.4 difficulty deficit compared to Carlos Yulo. .5 execution for both of his vaults. Just that one single tenth of penalties for the first vault. The classified results in the men's vault competition: the bronze for Igor Radivilov of Ukraine, silver for Carlos Yulo of the Philippines, and the gold for Artur Davtyan of Armenia. And I hope that gets you
Medal ceremony. The medal ceremony for the men's vault final is about to commence. Please welcome our medalists and presentation party into the arena.
The victory ceremony for the men's vault competition here in Liverpool. For the first time ever, an Armenian world champion.
Presenting the gold medal, FIG Executive Committee Member and President of African Gymnastics Union. Presenting the silver medal, and Artistic Gymnastics Technical Committee Member. Presenting the bronze medal, Steve Rodman, Mayor of Liverpool, City Region. In third place, and winner of the bronze medal, representing Ukraine, Igor Radivillov.
The winner of the bronze medal, Igor Radivillov of Ukraine. For the fourth time, he's on a world championship podium.
In second place, and winner of the silver medal, representing Philippines, Carlos Yulo.
The world champion from 2021 gets onto the podium again. Carlos Yulo of the Philippines. And he was just 1/10 away from the gentleman that finished in first place.
Winner of the gold medal and world champion, representing Armenia, Artur Dantian.
For the first time ever, an Armenian gymnast is the champion of the world. And it is Artur Dantian. He was the top performer in qualification. It was always likely to be a very close final. And he has just done enough to secure his and his nation's first ever world championship title. He's been so consistent this year, winning the World Cup series title on vault, after taking 3 gold medals along the way. And last year at the Olympic Games in Tokyo, he became the first Armenian to win an artistic gymnastics medal when he finished 3rd in the vault competition. Igor Radivillov knows all about finishing in 3rd place at the Olympic Games. Carlos Yulo knows all about finishing on a vault podium at the World Championships. It was a great final, and it ends for the first time ever with the playing of the Armenian national anthem at the World Gymnastics Championships.
For those who can, please now stand for the national anthem of Armenia.
The medalists in the men's vault competition at the Liverpool 2022 Artistic Gymnastics World Championships.